Through the gates of Beverly Park rises a chateau fit for royalty, a $63 million mansion where chandeliers glitter like starlight and a private golf course sprawls beneath the California sun. But here's the question. How did a troubled kid from the streets of Boston climb all the way to this empire of marble halls and hidden theaters? Tonight, we step inside Mark Wahlberg's world, his homes, his fortune, his cars, and the lifestyle few could ever imagine. Mark Wahlberg's story does not begin in luxury. It begins on the tough streets of Dorchester, Boston, where survival was a daily battle and dreams felt impossibly far away. He was the youngest of 9 children, often lost in the chaos of a crowded household. At just 13, he flirted with fame as part of New Kids on the Block, the boy band led by his older brother, Donnie. But Mark didn't stay long. Rebellion pulled him out before the group struck gold. By 16, his life had taken a darker turn. A violent assault sent him to prison, a stark reminder of how far off course he had drifted. Imagine the contrast. While his peers rehearsed for stardom, Mark sat in a cell, wondering if this was the end of his story before it had even begun. Yet prison, short as his time was, became a brutal wake-up call. He emerged determined to rewrite his destiny. That second chance came in the early 1990s with music. Reinventing himself as Marky Mark, he fronted the Funky Bunch, delivering the infectious hit Good Vibrations. The track shot to #1, blasting through radios everywhere and suddenly turning the former street kid into a pop sensation. For a moment, it looked like redemption had arrived, but fame built on pop hooks proved fragile. His follow-up records faltered, his public image grew controversial, and whispers of one-hit wonder threatened to swallow him whole. It was at this crossroads that Mark made another daring leap, into acting. Hollywood is not kind to rappers turned actors, but Wahlberg defied the odds. After a small part in Renaissance Man and a memorable role in The Basketball Diaries opposite Leonardo DiCaprio, he caught critics' attention. Then came Boogie Nights, 1997. As Dirk Diggler, a naive dreamer in the underworld of adult films, Wahlberg delivered a raw, fearless performance. Overnight, he wasn't just a gimmick from the music scene, he was a serious actor. The late 90s and early 2000s cemented his climb. Three Kings, The Perfect Storm, The Italian Job. Each role widened his range, showing grit, vulnerability, and charisma. But his true turning point came in 2006 with Martin Scorsese's The Departed. Cast as the foul-mouthed Sergeant Dignam, Wahlberg stole every scene, earning an Academy Award nomination. The kid once written off as a thug was now standing among Hollywood's elite. From there, he became both a star and a producer. On HBO, he brought audiences Entourage, a cultural phenomenon loosely based on his own rise. On screen, he flexed his versatility. The underdog bartender in Invincible, the action hero in Shooter, the grieving father in The Lovely Bones. By the 2010s, he was commanding blockbuster paydays, starring in Ted, Transformers, Lone Survivor, and Deepwater Horizon. He wasn't just playing heroes, he was leading films that grossed hundreds of millions worldwide. In 2017, Forbes named him the highest-paid actor in the world. Yet even as headlines celebrated his earnings, Wahlberg surprised many by giving away a $1.5 million reshoot paycheck to the Time's Up movement, proving that success had not erased his sense of responsibility. He also embraced streaming platforms with Spencer Confidential on Netflix and The Family Plan on Apple TV+, showing an instinct for staying relevant in Hollywood's shifting landscape. But what makes his career truly remarkable is not just the list of hits, it's the arc. From troubled youth to chart-topping rapper, to Oscar-nominated actor, to business mogul. Few in Hollywood have reinvented themselves so many times, each reinvention bigger than the last. And now, when Mark Wahlberg walks through the grand halls of his Beverly Hills chateau, or into his Las Vegas retreat, every marble floor and crystal chandelier whispers the same truth. He built this empire from nothing. But what does a man who has conquered both Hollywood and business choose as his sanctuary? Let's step inside the crown jewel of his real estate empire, his Beverly Hills mansion. Mansion in Beverly Hills. Perched high in the guarded enclave of Beverly Park, Mark Wahlberg's Beverly Hills mansion is less a house and more a statement. Worth an astonishing $63 million, it towers over Los Angeles like a chateau transplanted from the French countryside, yet updated with every modern indulgence a Hollywood star could imagine. The journey begins at the gates. Iron, wrought, and regal, they swing open to reveal 6 acres of manicured grounds. A winding driveway climbs past groves of trees and sculpted hedges, leading to the palatial facade. Stone walls, elegant arches, and a roofline crowned with ornate chimneys. It feels less like entering a home, more like arriving at a private kingdom. Step inside, and the spectacle only grows. The grand foyer stretches 2 stories high, with a sweeping double staircase spiraling upward as light pours through massive windows. Crystal chandeliers dangle like frozen constellations overhead. Each detail, marble floors, gilded railings, carved wood panels, whispers of craftsmanship designed not just for beauty, but for permanence. To the right lies the library, lined with dark wood, leather-bound books, and the kind of atmosphere where deals are struck in hushed tones. Down the hall, a private cigar lounge opens into a cavernous wine cellar, stocked with vintages that tell their own stories of success. And then there is the living room, expansive, with floor-to-ceiling windows framing the California hills, a fireplace anchoring the space, and decor that blends old-world elegance with contemporary polish. The kitchen, though, is the beating heart. Not 1 but 2 sprawling islands dominate the space, designed for both professional chefs and family meals. Hidden behind it lies a secondary kitchen, a practical luxury that allows entertaining without ever breaking the illusion of pristine order. Upstairs, the master suite is a sanctuary within a sanctuary. A fireplace flickers beneath vaulted ceilings, while French doors open onto a private balcony overlooking the estate. The adjoining his and hers bathrooms sparkle in marble and chrome, each leading into walk-in closets that feel more like designer boutiques than storage. Here, Wahlberg begins and ends his days, surrounded by quiet opulence. Entertainment flows through every corner of the estate. There's a state-of-the-art screening room where family and friends can watch films as if they were at a private premiere. A fully equipped gym echoes Wahlberg's legendary 4 a.m. workouts, proof that even in luxury, discipline defines him. Outside, the grounds transform into a playground. A 5-hole golf course, a full-sized basketball court, a skate park, and a grotto-style pool that shimmers like a lagoon. Add to that a guest house and expansive garage, and the mansion feels more like a private resort than a residence. What makes the home remarkable is its balance. It's undeniably lavish, yet lived in. A place where children's laughter bounces off marble walls, where family dinners follow business calls, where the Hollywood machine pauses long enough for moments of normalcy. This Beverly Hills chateau stands not only as a monument to Wahlberg's wealth, but also as a symbol of his transformation. The boy once confined by prison walls now lives behind the gates of one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the world. But here's the twist. After years of calling this mansion home, Wahlberg shocked many by leaving Beverly Hills behind. Why? To start fresh in a new city, Las Vegas. And his desert retreat is every bit as extraordinary. Mansion in Las Vegas. Leaving behind the glamour of Beverly Hills, Mark Wahlberg did something few stars of his caliber ever dare. He packed up his family in 2022 and moved to the desert. Why Las Vegas? For privacy, space, and a fresh start. But the home he chose proves that even in a city of bright lights, he still lives like royalty. Nestled inside the ultra-exclusive Summit Club, his Las Vegas estate is a $32 million modern masterpiece. Unlike the old-world charm of Beverly Park, this residence embraces sleek minimalism, all sharp lines, glass walls, and stone textures that reflect the desert sun. At first glance, it looks like it was sculpted directly from the earth, contemporary, striking, and unapologetically bold. The moment you approach, the facade sets the tone. Wide steps rise to a flat roofline, framed by floor-to-ceiling glass panels that shimmer in the daylight and glow like lanterns at night. Neutral tones dominate: sandstone, steel, and pale wood, blending perfectly with the Nevada landscape. There is no excess ornamentation, only clean design that whispers confidence. Inside, the space unfolds across 9,200 square feet. Two master suites command separate floors, offering Mark and Rhea their own sanctuaries. Each is a blend of warmth and sophistication: custom fireplaces, private terraces, and spa-like bathrooms clad in marble and natural stone. A guest suite and dedicated home office complete the private quarters, ensuring that the house serves both as a family retreat and a hub for business. But where this property truly shines is in its gathering spaces. The professional chef's kitchen features sleek cabinetry, hidden appliances, and a butler's pantry, perfect for both casual breakfasts and grand entertaining. The dining area opens seamlessly into a living room anchored by a modern fireplace, with glass walls that slide away to erase the boundary between indoors and outdoors. Technology hums quietly in the background. A Crestron smart home system controls lighting, sound, and climate with the touch of a screen. Hidden projection screens and built-in speakers transform any room into an entertainment hub. Even the floors are heated for comfort, while the garage is equipped with EV chargers to match Wahlberg's collection of luxury cars. Sustainability plays its part too, with powerful solar panels ensuring the house is as green as it is glamorous. Step outside, and the desert becomes part of the home. A resort-style pool glistens under endless blue skies, its edges spilling into a carefully landscaped yard. Minimalist patios provide space for quiet reflection, while manicured lawns break the monotony of desert rock. Surrounded by security, privacy, and panoramic views, it is both a fortress and a sanctuary. For Wahlberg, this house represents more than just real estate. It's reinvention. In Las Vegas, he found not only a property, but a community where his children could grow up away from paparazzi lenses, where family dinners could happen without interruption, and where the desert's quiet strength mirrors his own discipline. From chateau to modernist retreat, Wahlberg's homes tell the story of a man who has earned the right to live in any world he chooses. But luxury doesn't stop at real estate. For Mark Wahlberg, it continues on four wheels, through a garage filled with cars that roar as loudly as his success. Each car he owns isn't just a machine, it's a reflection of who he is, from the disciplined athlete to the Hollywood mogul. Let's step inside and hear the engines speak. Car collection: Rolls-Royce Phantom. When Wahlberg slides into the leather embrace of his Phantom, it's less about speed and more about presence. This is the car that announces him before he even steps out. With its silent V12 engine and interior wrapped in fine hides, it's a rolling palace. Wahlberg has been spotted arriving at premieres and business meetings in this masterpiece, the spirit of ecstasy gleaming like a crown on the hood. It's not just transportation, it's reputation on four wheels. Bentley Mulsanne. On days when he wants understated elegance, he turns to Bentley Mulsanne. Sleek, reliable, and iconic, it suits both his Hollywood persona and his role as a family man. Imagine him cruising through Beverly Hills or pulling into the Summit Club in Las Vegas, the three-pointed star shining like a badge of success earned through discipline and reinvention. Lamborghini Diablo VT Roadster. For pure adrenaline, nothing compares to the Diablo VT Roadster. Wahlberg's choice here speaks to the boy inside him, the one who once chased thrills on Boston's streets. With its scissor doors and a V12 that screams rebellion, this car is the embodiment of raw power. When he fires up the engine, it's not just noise. It's a reminder of how far he's come from chaos to control. Bentley Azure T. Then there's the Bentley Azure T, an open-top grand tourer that blends elegance with muscle. Imagine Wahlberg behind the wheel, wind cutting across the Nevada desert as the handcrafted details inside gleam under the sun. It's the perfect car for someone who balances Hollywood blockbusters with quiet family weekends, a seamless mix of luxury and performance. Each of these cars tells part of his story. The Rolls-Royce for prestige, Bentley Mulsanne, timeless elegance, the Lamborghini for thrill, and the Bentley for balance. Together they form not just a collection, but a gallery of identities Wahlberg has worn across his journey. But here's the thing, cars and mansions only tell half the story. The real power lies in the numbers behind them. How much has Mark Wahlberg earned over the years, and how did he transform paychecks into a $400 million fortune? $400 million. That's the number most often attached to Mark Wahlberg's name today, a net worth that places him among Hollywood's richest. But behind that figure lies a story of relentless work, savvy investments, and a willingness to take risks others might shy away from. It begins with his film career. At his peak, Wahlberg was one of the highest-paid actors in the world. In 2017, Forbes named him #1 after a string of box-office hits like Transformers, The Last Night, and Daddy's Home 2 filled his bank accounts with more than $68 million in a single year. Each blockbuster deal reinforced his reputation not just as an actor, but as a financial powerhouse. His contracts grew legendary. Multi-million-dollar paydays for films such as The Fighter and Lone Survivor not only elevated his career, but also padded his portfolio. Even his voice roles, like in Scoob, came with hefty checks. But acting was just the foundation. Wahlberg knew the spotlight could dim, and so he built multiple streams of income to secure his fortune. All of this funnels into the life he lives today. A life of sprawling mansions, exotic cars, and the freedom to choose his projects on his own terms. But Wahlberg's empire isn't built on ambition alone. Beyond the numbers, there's another side to his story. The businessman who turned family meals into global chains, fitness into billion-dollar ventures, and risk into opportunity. Let's step into his world of business. Business ventures. For Mark Wahlberg, Hollywood paychecks were never enough. He knew fame was fleeting, but business? Business could build a legacy. And so, behind the cameras, Wahlberg transformed himself into an entrepreneur whose ventures spanned food, fitness, fashion, and beyond. It started with a burger. Together with his brothers Donnie and Paul, he launched Wahlburgers, a family-driven chain that blended comfort food with celebrity branding. What began as a single restaurant grew into nearly 50 locations worldwide, pulling in more than $100 million annually. A reality show on A&E followed, turning Wahlburgers into a household name and reminding fans that, for Mark, family always stood at the center of his empire. But Wahlberg wasn't content with burgers. His disciplined lifestyle and chiseled physique opened the door to the fitness and wellness market. He co-founded Performance-Inspired Nutrition, a line of supplements aimed at athletes and everyday consumers alike. He also partnered with moguls Sean Diddy Combs and Ron Burkle to back Aqua Hydrate, a premium water brand that thrived on the growing demand for health-conscious alternatives. Then came bigger swings. In 2017, Wahlberg invested in StockX, a sneaker resale platform that redefined streetwear culture. His involvement wasn't just financial, it positioned him at the intersection of youth, style, and commerce. Soon after, he joined the luxury spirits boom, acquiring a stake in Flecha Azul Tequila, a brand poised to compete in a market dominated by celebrity names. Tequila became more than a drink. It became an investment in lifestyle. Perhaps his boldest play came with F45 Fitness, a global gym franchise. In 2019, Wahlberg and his partners bought a significant stake, and by 2021, F45 had gone public with a valuation of $1.6 billion. For a moment, it seemed like Wahlberg had scored the deal of a lifetime. But the market turned, and by 2023, the company's stock collapsed, erasing most of his paper fortune. Where others might have hidden from failure, Wahlberg didn't flinch. Losses were part of the game, and his willingness to take risks only reinforced his reputation as a serious player in the business world. He even branched into automobiles, purchasing a Chevrolet dealership in Ohio with partner Jay Feldman. It wasn't a vanity project. The dealership thrived, expanding Wahlberg's empire into yet another industry. From burgers to tequila, sneakers to fitness, Wahlberg built a portfolio that mirrored his own journey. Tough, disciplined, and willing to reinvent at every stage. He doesn't just endorse products, he embodies them. And in doing so, he's proven that Mark Wahlberg isn't only a Hollywood star, he's a brand, a businessman, and a risk-taker whose empire stretches far beyond the silver screen. Yet for all his business triumphs, Wahlberg is not defined solely by wealth. Behind the empire is a man who gives back, pouring time and millions into causes close to his heart. Let's uncover the side of Mark Wahlberg that inspires as much as it impresses, his philanthropy. Philanthropy. Mark Wahlberg's life could have been a cautionary tale. Instead, it became an inspiration, and perhaps nowhere is that clearer than in the way he gives back. Having grown up with little, having stumbled hard in his youth, Wahlberg understands what it means to need a second chance. His philanthropy, in many ways, is his way of passing that chance forward. In 2001, together with his brother Jim, he launched the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Its mission was simple but powerful: help disadvantaged kids in urban communities find opportunities he never had. Since then, the foundation has raised and distributed more than $12 million. They've built basketball courts in boys and girls clubs, sent children to summer camps in Maine, and handed out holiday gifts to families who might otherwise go without. For Wahlberg, each donation isn't just charity. It's a reminder of the boy he once was. His giving spirit stretches far beyond his own foundation. In Detroit, he co-hosts the Celebrity Invitational Golf Tournament, drawing A-listers and athletes to raise money for children's hospitals. In 2025 alone, the event pulled in over $1.3 million, funding treatments and programs that change lives. Years earlier, in Canada, he joined CIBC Miracle Day, helping generate $4.5 million for children's charities in just one holiday season. Some of his most striking acts of generosity have come in moments of controversy. When it was revealed in 2018 that he earned $1.5 million for reshooting All the Money in the World, while his co-star Michelle Williams made less than $1,000, Wahlberg responded not with excuses, but with action. He donated the entire paycheck to the Time's Up movement, turning criticism into meaningful change. Wahlberg also stands firmly beside veterans. Partnering with the Wounded Warrior Project, he's trained alongside wounded servicemen and women, lending not just money but his physical presence. For these efforts, he received the Bob Hope Award from the Medal of Honor Society, a recognition that highlights not only his generosity, but his deep respect for those who served. Whether it's handing out new shoes to kids in Florida or quietly funding shelters for women and children in Los Angeles, Wahlberg's philanthropy isn't a side project, it's a calling. Faith plays a role, too. A devout Catholic, he has often said that giving back is as much about his soul as it is about society. Away from the flashing cameras and billion-dollar deals, Mark Wahlberg's world narrows down to something simpler: family, personal life. Since 2009, he has been married to model Rhea Durham, and together they are raising 4 children. For Wahlberg, who once lived in chaos and uncertainty, the stability of home is perhaps his greatest achievement. In 2022, the Wahlbergs left Hollywood behind for Las Vegas. To outsiders, it looked like a bold move. Why would a megastar trade Beverly Hills glamour for the desert? But for Mark, the answer was clear. Las Vegas offered a quieter, more private life for his children, away from paparazzi-laden streets. In the Summit Club, his kids can play basketball or swim without flashing cameras waiting at the gates. It's not just a house they live in. It's a sanctuary. Mark's daily routine has become legendary. He is often awake by 4 a.m., starting with prayer and meditation before moving into his intense workout sessions. Discipline is the backbone of his lifestyle. While most of Hollywood is still asleep, Wahlberg has already finished a gym session, had breakfast, and spent time in reflection. It's this structure, he believes, that keeps him grounded in a world that thrives on excess. Faith plays a central role. A devout Catholic, he attends church regularly, often twice on Sundays. In interviews, he has admitted to apologizing to Pope Francis for some of his film roles and jokes, a sign of how deeply he values his spiritual life. In recent years, he has embraced Lenten fasting and prayer through the Hallow app, encouraging others to find strength in faith. For Wahlberg, religion isn't a public performance. It's a private compass guiding every choice. But he is not all discipline and prayer. Family time remains sacred. He's known to set aside phones during dinners, prioritizing conversation with his kids. Vacations are less about luxury resorts and more about creating shared memories, hiking in the mountains, visiting art galleries in Europe, or enjoying quiet beachside afternoons. Close friends still circle his life, but Wahlberg prefers intimacy over Hollywood parties. Small gatherings at home, golf games with his brothers, and nights watching movies with his children are the moments he treasures most. He has often said that no award, no paycheck could ever match the pride of being a husband and father. And yet the mark of Wahlberg's personality is that he never stops moving forward. Whether it's launching a new business, producing a film, or exploring his faith more deeply, he treats each day as a new chapter. From Boston streets to Beverly Hills mansions to Las Vegas deserts, his journey has been anything but ordinary. So here we are. From troubled youth to Hollywood mogul, from scandal to salvation, from cell blocks to chateau. Mark Wahlberg's life is proof that reinvention is possible, that fortune favors the relentless. But the question remains, what part of his story inspires you the most? Now that we've walked through Mark Wahlberg's mansions, cars, fortune, and family life, what impressed you most? Was it his Beverly Hills chateau, his Vegas retreat, or his comeback story? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity lifestyles revealed.